In November 2025, President Donald Trump announced that he is immediately terminating the special legal status for Somali immigrants living in Minnesota. Now, there are many immigrants living across the country, but for whatever reason, Donald Trump has a real big issue with the Somali community.
The last administration let in 20 million unknown and unvetted foreigners from all over the world, from places that you don't want to even know about. No country can tolerate such a risk to our very survival.
But then he gets specific.
An example is Minnesota, where hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripping off our country and ripping apart that once great state. Billions of dollars are lost, and gangs of Somalians come from a country that doesn't even have a government, no laws, no water, no military, no nothing. As their representatives in our country preach to us about our Constitution and how our country is no good.
Woo! Donald Trump is talking about all of the scams or frauds that are going on with the Somali community. And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure they have very many hardworking people that come to the country and are doing great things, just like any other immigrant group. A lot of the positives that any community does will always be overshadowed by the problems that it has. And this is why Donald Trump's hypocrisy is being called out.
See, the thing about the Somalis in Minnesota is they're just a distraction. They're just the fall guy. Do you think that they're getting these federal grants and state grants without a white person signing off on them?
He's right,
Now, I don't disagree with this particular brother here. There are many immigrant groups that do things like this. I mean, we already know about the Italians historically. But again, the focus has been on Somalis and some of the fraud that they've been doing, allegedly with some of the healthcare and, other stuff. There have been people that have been deported due to that. And absolutely, people are being deported now. And some of the people from the black community are kind of fed up with the Somali community.
If y'all don't get y'all fraudulent, scamming, cross-eyed, big four-headed, incestual asses up out of here. We know you married your brother. Take y'all illegal scamming asses on. Get out.
Damn, damn, damn!
Now again, I've noticed there is a growing contention towards the Somali community in Minnesota, but largely Arabs in Dearborn, Michigan. And she did mention that in this particular video. But Donald Trump will stay true to deportations, even if he doesn't stay true to his word all the time. But when it comes to getting people out of, the country, he's doing it. And I want to talk about another case that has really went viral.
It just gets bad in here, man. I just don't want to be here no more. I pray to God just. I'm just tired of you guys talking about me and just always talking shit. You guys just don't even know how to just leave me alone.
Now, this is a Somali guy. Obviously, he's speaking with, a I don't know if you want to call it a Black American accent, but obviously he's in Mogadishu. He's speaking with an American accent, so obviously he must have lived in America for a certain time, and he is now stuck there, okay? And he's crying. And this video has went viral, all over TikTok. This guy is whining, and people are like, he and Han. But one thing that is very, very interesting is that this same particular person ended up on, the live stream with some Black Americans on TikTok. And what he was begging for was crazy.
The Somali man who was crying and begging for Trump to give him his passport back is now on live begging Black Americans to help him get back to America after his criminal behavior got him deported. He was then trying to throw slick shots.
I'm all the way in Texas. What I'm gonna do from Texas, bro? Hey, thank you. Hey, Reese's showing
My
love.
God. That's why a lot of us need to start going to school, man. We know we understand one thing. The Embassy of America is based also in America as well. It's the headquarters.
Okay.
So like, you could go down there.
Hey, you need to get back to headquarters.
I used to, man. That's how they fly. I guess y'all got a lot of cows and horses over there.
Bro, what you mean? Bro, I'm in the crib.
Damn!
He is there asking this Black American dude about, embassies. He's saying stuff like, I'm your brother. You need to help me out. The brother who lives in Texas is like, look, bro, like, what you need me to go to the embassy for? And so the Somalian guy is actually getting mad, and he is like, taking shots at the guy, in a way, like, well, man, all y'all have is like farm animals out there, and he tries to play it off. But I noticed the condescending behavior the Somalian guy had towards the Black brother, yet he was just telling him, you're my brother. I need you to help me get back home. But then when the guy didn't know what he was talking about, he took some shots. Now, again, if you're a United States citizen, you're not going to know about the U.S. Embassy. You're not going to know about it. And the reason why you don't know about the U.S. Embassy is because you've never really needed to use it because you're a United States citizen. Woo! But this guy obviously must not have been a citizen, all right? Because he's telling people, yo, call the embassy, help me come back. Obviously, you were deported, most likely for the wrong reason. And so now you need Black Americans' assistance to bring you back to Somalia. Now I want to weigh in on this. A lot of communities, especially in the Horn of Africa, Eritreans, Ethiopians, Somalians, all of these communities are very different. They have different goals. But one thing that I can tell you is that by nature, these groups, they're off to themselves. They don't really cause a whole lot of problems with anybody. Very, very nice people. Typically very, very fair. But Somalians, Eritreans, and Ethiopians, for sure, do not really interact. Now, it could be a little different in Minnesota, but I would probably bet that, they're not going to go out of their way to make friends with other different groups. Now, it might be a little bit different with those Somalians who were raised in the United States. But the issue is he's talking to this guy like, yo, bro, help me out. I'm your brother and all of this stuff. But you're throwing these shots at the young Black man and you want him to do something for you. But if you were both in America, you wouldn't ever hang around him. You don't have anything invested in him, but now you need his help. And this is something that I feel like is a problem with some of the, Black foreigners that come to America. And don't get me wrong, we're not the majority in the United States. And so, when you come to Minnesota or wherever you are, some of the African immigrants, don't feel the need to have a relationship with people who look like them. However, I live in Africa where the majority of the people here are Black, and I'm forced to at least attempt to have a relationship with them. And the one thing about Africans is that they force you to bring value to them, especially if you're living in their country. There's no way you're going to live in Uganda, you're going to live in Kenya, South Sudan, and you're not spending money, you're not bringing some value. Like, they will not accept it. You will have to bring value. However, we're seeing this Somalian guy who obviously doesn't have any Black American friends. He doesn't have anybody he can reach out to. And when he was in Minnesota or in Minneapolis, he didn't have any ties or cultural relationship with Black Americans. But now you need that after you've been deported. And this is kind of what people call out about, not just this particular group. I'm not putting it on Somalians, but just a whole diaspora thing. Whether it's Africans there or Caribbeans, when you need our help, we're your brother. But when you don't need us, it's like, okay, well, we're cool and we're doing better than you, right? And then one of the Somalian guys who, obviously there's a lot of smoke behind this story. he did a video, guys, that really talked about a lot of the issues.
There are truth we have not been saying out loud. Number one, go to Somali malls. Cash only, no receipts. That's sus. We gotta say that out loud. Number two, Somali tax accountants. They say, oh, you have no taxes today. That's sus. We gotta call that out. What? Yeah. Somali trucking companies cutting corners. That's sus. Let's not do that. Appreciate that. Let me keep going. Yeah, helping each other lie on forms. Like it's some sort of community service we're doing to each other. What? Yeah. And recently I just saw a Somali sheriff, police officer, saying that he only serves the Somali community. What are you doing? You're an American. The whole citizens is your duty to protect and provide great, excellent service. Hello? Get rid of that mindset. Appreciate that.
Now, for the Somalian brothers, he says something that they have issues with are Somalian businesses. He says when you go to Somali malls, and of course they're there in Minneapolis, you're only getting cash only, no receipts. So basically, you're running these businesses as if you're not in Minnesota. You're still acting like this is a business in Somalia. You're doing cash only. You're not accepting any kind of debit or credit card. And one of the reasons why anybody would do that is because they don't want to pay tax. All right. And then that was his next part. You guys are shady tax accountants. I mean, that's what he's saying himself. So that can't work. He also talks about something that's very dangerous. Trucking companies that cut corners. Now, you do have Africans in the trucking business. There are a lot of Russians in it, Bulgarians in it. But if you cut corners, you know, you risk having a whole bunch of catastrophic things happening, you know, on the road. You risk logistics. And so why do you come to America just to get in business and cut corners? He also talked about lying on forms. Now, Somalians are supposed to be Muslims, okay? And Muslims are not supposed to be lying. But clearly he's saying that lying on forms to do whatever you need to do, whether that is fraud or not, is a problem. And then he also talks about this police officer at the end who is saying that he only serves Somali communities.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the you think you is?
Yeah, that's crazy. You're in America, you fled from Somalia, and you're speaking in Somali linguistics or Somali language, and you're pledging your love to Somalia and saying that you only serve Somali communities, but you are there to protect and serve all people from Minnesota and Minneapolis. And so the issue is that when you start getting these problems where somebody is saying that you're scamming, you're doing all of these things, and then you have this particular brother that comes out and defends it, it looks bad, right? It looks bad to a lot of immigrant groups do this. But here's the reality on the ground. If these guys are coming over and taking these benefits, and those benefits could help Americans, especially Black Americans, then how do you come in and say, I want to build a relationship with you? I want to build a relationship with you, you who, you know, won't let anybody in, you who, you know, when you don't need us, you don't need us, you who, you know, you stay over to yourself and you know, only wrapped in your own culture and your own customs as it fits you. That's the reality that we have. And this is why the problem with the Pan-Africanism in the diaspora is starting to fall a little bit on deaf ears. Not to say that it can't happen, but, you know, if the Somalians are the people who are practicing in this particular situation, let's say, for example, if they're only in it for them, you have other groups who are coming to America for them, then there is no collaboration on any of this stuff. So you don't get the right to ask me to help you when really you've been messing up your own situation for a long time. No, the issue is no, I can't help you. No, I don't feel sorry for you. And if you're deported for whatever reason, and, you know, obviously I know mistakes can happen, but yes, if you're deported and you don't have any Black American friends or any American friends that can help you, then what that says is you've been living your life on an island that didn't even include people. And now that you need those people, you want somebody to come and feel sorry for you. Well, the answer is, and again, I know that not all Somalis are involved in this. In fact, I know Somalis are very active, in Minnesota as far as doing those things. However, you got to put it to your perspective. Would you want somebody coming to your country and having these issues? Yeah, like if we could all go to Somalia and we could go there and do some of the same issues like that some of these folks are doing. The answer is no, you cannot. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Shady Jackson back at it again. Another episode of Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all. You just scared the bell. We're out.